The following presentation is brought to you through the meaningful relationships created through NotaryStars.com. Notary Stars is the only notary training platform and resource library offering 150 plus hours of training on every aspect of a signing agent's career, including over 35 different loan products. Oh, and their loan signing agent training is available in both English and Spanish. Members of Notary Stars are definitely dedicated to signing agent excellence, together with partners like the Remote Online Notary Network, which focuses on notaries who are pioneering in remote online notary. Notary Stars strives to give you a safe place to ask questions, get answers, gain confidence in your notary career, and achieve success without over-fabricating the truths about our industry. If you would like to support Notary Stars or the Remote Online Notary Network, please consider liking this video, subscribing to their channels, sharing this video with a colleague, or becoming a member of either site and trusting them to help you achieve the level of success you desire.
Well, hey there, friends. Get ready for an electrifying Monday General Mentorship session. We are really thrilled that you've joined us for another week of learning, networking, and growth. Remember, we meet every Monday, except for holidays, 5 p.m. Pacific time, so watch for the weekly newsletter and click the button in that newsletter to add this session to your calendar. If you're new to Notary Stars, welcome. We are your one-stop shop for everything notary, from rock-solid basics to the most complex loan files, both in English and Spanish. We'll even conquer the mysteries of ROM together and offer the best notary business marketing course to help you shine. If you are a member of the training website, you have access to a different class every single day of the week on amazing topics to help you hone your notary and business skills. So be sure to visit your calendar of events on the Notary Stars website. As we get started today, remember you can raise your virtual hand at any time to ask a question or even share an experience. Don't be shy. We're all here to learn and grow together. Mr. Mickle, we are ready for any announcements or micro topics that you are ready to bring us tonight.
All right. So first of all, I just want to make sure you guys know we've heard your feedback about sending multiple emails throughout the week. We tried for the first half of this year. We know not everybody's a member of Notary Stars, right? We do offer classes every day of the week with special things that you can do. Tuesday Neat class has a marketing tip for all members on the site, from the basic level all the way to the Notary Star Plus marketing level. So every week we do a marketing tip, and she zeroes in. Now, those replays are only available for the Notary Star Plus marketing, so you got to attend live for those. We have had great attendance with those, but for those that are not members are like, hey, I don't want so many emails. So we've gone to one weekly newsletter, and starting next week, any classes that you're interested in, there will be an add to calendar button on the newsletter. So if you want to come to MGM or if you want to come to one of the classes and you need to know how to log in and you're on the fly, you can put it on your calendar as an optional item. But with that said, this week, I want to introduce you to something that I kind of discovered recently. And, I always boast about how Unlimited Ink does all this business, and I'm increasing apostille, and I'm increasing document translation. And I'm always having to create a solution for a problem within the wheel of just being a notary. And much like yourselves out in the field, I have to be able to quote things on the fly. Sometimes I am on a text message with a client and they're telling me like I need XYZ, and I'm driving to another place and I need to like pull over, or I'm, in my case, I'm like running from one room to the other. I'm hopping out of a meeting and I've got to get back to a client with a quote. And I want to share with you something that I came up with. Now, this is going to be worth coming to your Tuesday Neat class tomorrow for anybody that's a site member, from basic level all the way to Notary Star Plus marketing. We offer that Tuesday Neat class. And so what I came up with, I actually stole it from another company. There's a company that I work with and they're very busy, and I'm always like very impressed with their work. And I'm pretty sure on their side, they're an apostille company. Whenever I work with them and I say I have to send something as a federal document or I'm going to the embassy, they just write back an email saying, here's your quote, pay your quote online. And at first, when I saw it, I was a little judgy. Like, I'm just going to be honest. I was like, just trust the customer to put in the amount and that's it. Well, I decided to take a page out of their book because my team was like Ronnie, like every time we have to create a quote, then we have to go to Stripe and we have to like create that quote and then we have to send the quote to the customer. And if you update the form, then we have to go to the website and like update that form. So with that said, I wound up, and you guys know I'm a huge fan of Jotform. Kirsten, if you want to put into the it's very intuitive if you want to try it yourself. We have a link for Jotform that you can uh, sign up and get your own account at Jotform. And I use them all over our websites. I teach it at the marketing level, but I want to kind of show you, and then I'm going to tell you something about it with our with what's going to come in the marketing class this week because you guys won't believe it. So first thing I want to share with you is this simple form has literally changed how we do things at Unlimited Ink. And I'm glad that Cynthia Toreto is on the call today because I'll preface this, okay? I literally installed this form last week for something just like this. And she called me and she knows how busy I am. She's one of my Notary Star Plus marketing levels. Her website that I initially built, but she took over, has drawn in an apostille client. And she wasn't quite ready yet. So she said, I'm going to turn it over to you. And I said, well, I'm going to try to work with you as much as possible. I was able to send that quote after talking to the guy within minutes. And I literally was in the shuffle because it was earlier this morning at Unlimited Ink. It's a Monday morning just after the end of the month. We always know that the two busiest times are the end of the month and right after the end when everything doesn't close. I was talking to her. She sent me the information right away. I closed the deal. Now she has a quite a hefty, pretty penny apostille for tomorrow morning. She's already done the notarization side and she's now doing this. Now, I was able to get that quote together and I was able to share with her how I do a quote. But this is the payment link that I was actually sent to the client. So as I typed all of that stuff out, managing everything else, I was able to send this over. And it's a very simple form letting them know to put in the amount inside the quote. And so we sent that over to them and it's embedded into our website and we did all the SEO. So if you send it as a text, it'll say pay your quote to unlimited, pay for your quote and services at Unlimited Ink. And I stole this idea from our big company that we use that we talk a lot about in the marketing class. That's how they do everything. And our team was just like, okay. And I was like, let's try it. Now, what you don't know about this, and Kirsten's going to go into this more on Tuesday Neat classes, when they fill out this quote, it actually emails, if you have a team, the different members. You can set up emails for different components of that quote, letting them know, like, hey, this has been done, or your payment's been received. Another problem with Stripe is when a customer pays, you don't know. So you're constantly checking, have they paid yet? Have they paid yet? Have they paid yet? This actually provides you a receipt letting you know the customer's paid. It's time to roll and get going on the quote. It's actually been kind of a game changer for me. And then one of the things that I'm going to share with you guys at the marketing class later this week is forever and a day when you embed something on your website like a Jotform or Calendly, if you change anything on that form, you have to go back to your website and then update it. Well, not anymore. Because of what we learned with all of the dynamics at the Notary Star Plus marketing level on our websites, you now can create a CMS with all of your forms for everything that you're ever doing and embed them on your website with a little trick called the CMS. All my little students out there know what I'm talking about. When you embed the form onto your CMS and put it as rich content, it will update your site automatically. So this is kind of like groundbreaking news for those of you using multiple forms already. But this is a game changer for anybody that's out in the field. If you're quoting over the phone, you're trying to get those things done really quickly. Please tune in to Tuesday Neat tomorrow and then come see me on Thursday because I'm going to be taking it even further. But for the basic levels and the Notary Star level, we want you, and the Ron level, we want you to have to be able to do this. Last thing I'm going to say about this, guys, is if you are a bilingual notary, you absolutely, if you guys have heard about our dynamic websites, which is great for one language, the Jotform and the websites are now easily translated into any language you request. I showed Kirsten today. She's sitting over there nodding her head. It's a very easy process. So if you are bilingual, I see Susan Oliveira here, and she aren't you bilingual? No, I thought you were bilingual. I know that you just finished up your site. For anybody that is bilingual, we now have a back-end plugin that is available. So if you speak Spanish or you speak French or you speak Italian, it's going to be very easy for you to translate any page of your website into another language so that you can capture that. But it doesn't just translate the page. Now, Amy pointed out earlier, she said, "Well, Ronnie, I have a little tab on my browser that'll translate the page for me." It's absolutely true, but it doesn't translate the search engine optimization for the page. And this is the problem. If you translate your page using a Google browser and you just expect your customers to just hit that, the search engines is still not serving it to them if they're searching in their language. So if you speak French, if you speak Italian, if you speak Spanish, you now can reach your customers in any language that you want. And the Jotform now allows you to be able to take those languages. Little quick show on how that works. So we're still translating certified document translations, which is my translation sector. I'll just show you how this form is embedded onto the site. And it would be automatically translated. We haven't released Spanish yet, but we did for the order form because we get a ton of Spanish. So now they would be able to just come on and choose their language, and that form automatically translates to Spanish. I didn't do a stitch of translation. It's done automatically for the reader. So they just have to choose what language that they want to choose it in. Eventually, there will be a toggle button for the site up here as well. But that's our document translation side of the company. We own that site as well. And being able to show them in the language that they're trying to translate to, because sometimes it's really hard when I'm on the phone with those translations and they're like calling and they're speaking broken English and they want to actually talk to the translator because they don't understand the website. Now this is going to actually help you so you can do your top languages that you're doing translations for, even if you don't speak the language. But if you do speak the language, it's going to draw in those customers that you can really wow them when you get them on the phone. I'll leave it at that, Miss Beth, so that we can get started for tonight because I know we have a big night. But Tuesday neat, Thursday, we got a lot of information for you on how to implement all of these things.
Very good. We do have a hand up in the audience already. Mr. Miller, would you like to unmute and ask your question?
Yes, it was actually directed to Ronnie regarding Jotform. For us, just starting our notary business or a year in or a little bit more, is there a specific level of Jotform we should be using? I see the starters free, the bronze, silver, gold. I was looking at what they offered. Is there any guidance into what would be best for us to start off with?
Yes, so when I started out with Jotform, you definitely do want the paid account because there are some features that you get access to. I can't actually see them because I just clicked on the link myself. I can't actually see them because it just logs me into my account. You want the lowest level to start because you're only going to need a few forms. And I remember that magical day. It was only like a year and a half after I had gotten Jotform and it helped me streamline the business. I've been using this thing for like 10 years. I still remember that magical day when I was like, oh, I'm gonna need like more submissions, and you can grow, it'll grow with you, so you can go up, but just start with the lowest uh, form, and you can use the forms multi-purpose on different pages. But as you grow, as you get into apostille, remote online notarization, you're gonna have to ask multiple different questions at multiple different times, and you'll create a form as you need. So once you get past their 5 to 10 forms that they allow you to do, then you can evolve and go up to the next level. So I would say the smallest level.
All right. Thank you, Ronnie.
Thank you.
And another hand goes up in the audience. I'm sure it's for you, Mr. Ronnie. Jamila, would you like to go ahead and unmute?
Yes, I wanted to ask about, so I am fluent in French, but I'm not a native speaker. I'm not a certified translator. Does that matter?
So as a notary, no, because you're not a certified translator, but you can partner with a certified document translation company like we have and we have available for you. And with your website, I mean, if you're fluent in French, you can perform notarizations in French and advertise to speak French-speaking clients and translate your website so you can let them know that you can help them. So, you know, in what state are you in? In Georgia? So you may be able to do notarizations that other people can't do that speak French. And I happen to know for a fact, because I'm from LaGrange, Georgia, which is the barn in French. And we have a very strange culture in Atlanta and in the surrounding area with a lot of ties to French. So there are a lot of French speaking people in Georgia. So I would definitely use those features. Oh, you got put on mute there again.
So, oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, there it goes. So because in insurance, like I was doing some stuff with insurance, you have to do the whole application in English. It's not like that in notary.
So there may be documents that are in French, and you know an English speaking notary doesn't have to speak the same language. They just have to put the certificate in English, right, Miss Beth?
They don't have to be able to read the document.
Right.
They
They
have
don't
to
have to.
communicate the same language, but we don't have to be able to read the document.
Right.
Okay, and so the whole thing does not have to take place in English. It can take place in another language.
As long as you can communicate with the signer in that language.
Okay.
And
Okay, cool.
there are people, and you got to think about how many French Canadians we have that speak French. And I know for a fact that Nancy Fauché out of Florida gets a lot of people who contact her for French. So if you're speaking another language, you definitely want to make sure you're marketing in that language. The problem is by the time you've built a website this massive,
Hmm.
or even a small website, and you get it set up in one language, it's really hard to want to do it in another because you already did everything. But the fact of the matter is that some people out there have their browsers in another language and are searching terms that you may be missing out on. You could pull in those customers as in a remote online notary. You've got the whole world. If you speak Spanish, I'd have my website translated in a month. If you speak Spanish and you can take those calls, I would totally be all over this. You know, French too, but Spanish, I mean, I'm sorry, there's way more
Yeah.
Spanish speakers than
Oh,
French.
yeah. But there's a lot of Haitians, I think, and other French speaking people in this
Hmm.
area too.
Yep. All right. Thank you so much. And then Miss Beth, I know we got hands raised, but I don't want to make the whole entire session about marketing because we got to get some of these questions answered because you guys put in these brilliant questions. So maybe we should start going back and forth between the sheet.
Yeah. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. If Mr. Mpuga is here, I actually don't see him. Where is he at? If you
I'm
want to go
here.
ahead hi there. If
Hi.
you want to go ahead and start with the first question on the list and read that for us. These are
Sure.
Jotform questions that have come in over the last probably 10 days. So we've got some questions we need to get caught up on here for sure.
Sure. And excuse my mobile office today. All right. So the first question we have it came from Juanita R. This is for Emmy.
Manuel, if you can skip that one. Yeah, I know why you're reading that because you're not on the live version. That one's been moved because Amy's not here.
Okay. So I'll go on to the next one. This one came from Craig, and this is for Mr. Ronnie. Under the PA Handbook controversial documents section, it takes that I should not refuse to notarize documents relating to abortion, same-sex unions, and assisted suicides. How can I refuse to notarize these documents without getting into legal trouble?
Mr. Mickle, you're muted.
Thank you.
There you
You
go.
can't, because when you become a notary, you are now becoming an impartial witness to those documents of sorts. You're not there to judge someone with the life choices that they make. And when someone presents you a document, you are to verify their identity, make sure they understand what they're signing, and notarize that document. Now, I was taught, and I don't know if this is still true because I've just lived this way since I became a notary, but I was actually told in past days that there are some states that if you refuse to notarize a document outside of your business hours because of something like this, you could actually lose your commission. That may be true still in some states. There may be some arguments there. However, you know, there is the whole What are you having notarized today? Oh, I'm sorry, that appointment time doesn't work for me. If you feel that passionately, you don't want to make it about, I won't notarize that document. You need to make that it doesn't fit into my mobile notary schedule, or I just can't take you today. Maybe refer them to someone else who's not as passionate as you are about those documents. But if someone, comes up to you and you've advertised that you're open, you can't really make a judgment on those documents. That's not your position. That's not why you were given. When you become a notary, you are expected by your state to record documents in your journal that are being notarized. It is your duty to record those. And this goes back to history lessons. Go look up what a notary used to do. We do a lot less. Boy, if we did what we used to do, we'd be probably paid a lot more. But your job is to record that document and the fact that someone signed it in their right, sound mind and body. You cannot judge the documents that you want to do. And honestly, the last thing I'll say on this, and then Ms. Beth, I'd love your commentary. In this day and age, it is a business killer because all you need is someone to stand up on YouTube and social media and say that you judge them for one reason or the other, and you're going to have 50% of the people hating you. So you got to learn to play very well in the sandbox as a business owner. It's not, don't think about your community, okay? Because communities outside of communities can still go review you once they read a TikTok about you. So be very, very careful about those things. Ms. Beth, I'd love to hear what you have to say on this question.
Well, we are public officials, and our duty, our oath of office is to serve the public, not to judge the public. So we need to be able to serve all peoples. And there are many states that say, there's only, a few very specific reasons why you can refuse to notarize. And one of them, of course, is they're not alert and aware. They don't have ID. Those things. It's not you refusing to notarize because you don't like the color of their hair or the way that they live. That's not something we have an opportunity as business owners even to make that decision because we're public officials. How about one question in the gallery, and then we'll go back to the Jotform questions. Mr. Sampson, would you like to ask your question?
Yes, I am. First of all, good afternoon to everyone. Good to see you, and nice to join your group here, Beth and Johnny, Ronnie, actually. Ronnie, this question is for you about the translation. I just want to understand, you said that your site has a translation type key that websites can be translated to certain languages.
That is correct. So there is a plugin, and lots of websites offer them. But our websites that we've been launching and doing that with the Notary Star Plus marketing level, they come with we now have a built-in, it's called a multilingual feature. I'll be going over on Thursday along with how to do this with Jotform as well. Kirsten will be launching it off with certain aspects of the Jotform on the class. But yes, there is a way for you to translate every item on your webpage, or leave some items in English and only do the important things. So it'll allow you to go line by line to choose what you want translated.
And this is done through CMS, you said, right?
There is, well, no, you're not doing it through a CMS per se. It operates similar to a CMS, but it's not the actual CMS. It's a completely different feature that's separate from the CMS. But when you see it, if you're familiar with CMS on the template, it's very similar to the CMS.
Okay. You said you're gonna send an email for Thursday class?
Yes, I'll be sending out an email for the Thursday classes for sure.
Okay. Thank you. I'm done. Thank you, Beth.
You're welcome. And by the way, if the rest of you don't know, Mr. Mickle teaches about 4 hours a day on Thursdays for marketing just for you guys. So if you're part of that marketing class, be sure to tune in on Thursdays. If you're not part of marketing, sign up. My goodness, get in it on the fun. Mr. Puga, Next question from our Jotform list, if you would, please.
Sure. Next question is for Kirsten. This came from Loretta P. How do notaries set up mobile scanning? Example, with an ES580W in their cards. What kind of adapter do I need? How do I handle the file transfer without a laptop? Is there a case on wheels?
My goodness, that's a lot of questions for you.
Well, Loretta actually posted this in Facebook. She got a lot of response from it. But what I told her is for my mobile scanning, I carry my scanner to my car with every signing. And I keep it in my car during the signing because my scanner can be a little bit finicky. And sometimes I have to teach a lesson, and I don't want to do that in front of the signers. So I keep it in there out of sight. But it just plugs into, I just have a normal inverter, and it just plugs into my car and it runs. You do need a laptop to transfer files. And my laptop also runs on the inverter. I know some people will get like a marine battery, like a boat battery, and put that in their car to run everything. You can get big fancy generators. So if you're in our Facebook group, she did ask that question. If you guys have any, if you want to give your answers to that question, or you can use the chat right now and let people know, what type of scanners do you have in your car? Do you keep the scanner in your car at all times? What a type of adapter? And do you have a really good notary case on wheels that you can move things all around, because things can kind of get cumbersome when you're trying to juggle all the different items. So I'm going to stick a few links in the chat talking about our scanners that we recommend, setting up your mobile business, and yeah, so that'll be in the chat in just a few seconds.
Listen,
I'm sorry.
I just want to throw this in there. When it comes to carrying around a scanner, I actually take mine in, and this is my briefcase that I've used for years. It's not the exact same one for years, but when I have a scanner appointment and I need to take that scanner with me, I actually have a little bag that sits on top of this. I don't have it now because it's out in the garage, but I have a little bag that fits my scanner right on top of here, and I just kind of latch it over. And this is kind of like those roll back luggages, and I just rest it against here, and the handles of that go over this. So I can just roll it into the appointment with me. So I actually take mine inside appointments, and I don't have an inverter. Some people find it very hard for inverters to set up, or they feel like they're harder, and I don't really want to do all of that. So I just carry mine with me on top of my bag, and just use that as the kind of like my little stacking point of what I'm going to put. So I usually stack my printer, because I have the little printer that we talk about that I take with me, and then I have my scanner sit on top of that, and it all fits perfectly right on the top of that briefcase.
Someone else was asking, how do you protect your equipment from the heat? And I got to tell you, I don't park my vehicle in direct sunlight unless I'm at an appointment. So we're talking about an hour, maybe 2 hours max if I'm on a reverse mortgage appointment. I'm in Arizona. We are actually 113 degrees today. It doesn't bother it if you keep it out of direct sunlight. So, use a car reflector, a windshield reflector, shade reflector over your equipment. As long as you keep it out of direct sunlight, it's not really going to hurt it that much. I do park in my garage overnight. It's still hot. I mean, we only get down to 100 degrees overnight. That's not true. Maybe 95, right? But it's still hot. So in my experience in Arizona, I've never had any problem with heat for my equipment in my car.
Yeah, Miss Beth, and I just want to say this, just to prove a theory that if the heat's not, you may think it's really hot at 113, but when I'm sure you've had this too, you go into an appointment and you're only in there for 45 minutes, even on a short appointment, and you come back and you realize that the car, it's 113 outside, but it's an oven inside it, like 175, 200 degrees, because it's so hot outside. And so these machines are withstanding temperatures, up to oven temperature and being fine. They are made out of things that are designed not to melt. And I want to say that because, uh, Beth had said that her air conditioning went out and she had certain things like candles melt in her house and things like that. It's not made out of that type of wax. Now, it's not meant to be put in a conventional oven. You don't want it hot to go. But, for short appointments and things like that, I've never had a problem also. And the most thing that I think people want to know about is the ink and the tone, or not the ink because we don't use ink. The toner and the drum. I will tell you that leaving your toner in a very hot vehicle for too long will turn it to dust. And I've had it happen to me many times, and I happen to know in Arizona that they don't take them out. So you only want to take a toner cartridge with you truly if you need it, or take it out at night so that it's not in there consistently, because we have to get on notary sometimes when they're using their toner and it leaves all those specks. Now that could be a bad drum, but I do believe a lot of the ones that I got were because I left them in the car with the heat. So just a full disclosure, your toner you may want to bring in at night if you're not parking in a shaded area.
All righty, let's go ahead and take the next Jotform question. Mr. Puga.
Hi, Mrs. Beth. This question is for you. It came from Facebook post. I am a New York notary, but the property in my refinance package is in Florida. Can somebody please send me a Florida certificate ASAP?
So this was another Facebook post, as he said, and what everybody needs to know is it doesn't matter what state the property is in that you're signing loan documents or any other document on. You're using the certificate that's compliant for you and for your state. Just because something's going to be used in Pennsylvania, we don't need a Pennsylvania certificate. Hopefully everybody knows that, right? Okay. All righty, Mr. Puga. This next question is for you. This is from Atai. It says, on the first loan signing, what is the proper way to present the documents? That's a loaded question.
This is a very good question, actually, because even as an experienced notary, sometimes we have to, one, learn about the file that we're dealing with. That really helps when it comes to presenting documents. And then two, how to organize those documents, right? There are certain documents that I like to put on the very top of the file. So when I'm taking the signer's ID's information, I have a document called Patriot Act that allows me to kill two birds with one stone, right? Also, there are a few other documents that I always start with. Like a high percentage of the time when something is wrong on those documents is going to be on those two documents. One, it's the settlement statement, and the other one could be on the closing disclosure. And for those of you who are interested in knowing more about how to train on files, join Notary Stars.
There you go. Perfect. All righty. Come on, guys. Do not be shy. Get your hands up. We have 145 people on the call. There's got to be somebody out there with a question. I knew it, Susan. Hi, Susan. Do you want to unmute?
Okay. Hello, everybody. Just a quick question. The renewal for the single location for the facilities, if we want to change our photo of ourselves that we have on there and remove the price or change the price that we put on there, how do we do that before the renewal?
So if you're listed on emergencynotaryservices.com, emergencynotaryservices.com, jailnotaryservices.com, or find a notaryapostilleagent.com, when you sign up, you get an email back to you that says, here's your listing for your record, so you can have the link to that listing. You just need to reply to that email, or you can send it out to me, and I'll just forward it along to the team, and they will make any updates that you request to that listing.
Okay, I don't even know if I still have that email.
So you can just email me
Okay.
and I'll get it to the appropriate people. You just need to let me know what you're looking to update on the listing. You can only update your bio, your prices, whatever is available on there. You can't ask for special, tweaks.
Right. I just want to change my picture because I look totally different and I just want to change my price on there. So I don't want to surprise anybody when I walk in.
Are we going higher or lower in price? Are we going higher or lower in price?
I am just taking the price off.
Okay, got it. Got it. I was hoping to hear you were doing a price increase.
Well, it is actually a little bit of a price increase, but I'm just taking it off of there.
Got it. Yeah, send me an email and I'll make sure it happens.
Okay, thank you, Ronnie.
And I also just need to know the location because I think you have multiple locations.
I do. Yeah, it's going to be on all of them. So.
Okay, so just let me know what locations.
Okay, thank you, Ronnie.
Thank you.
So Lena Ferris in the chat is having a hard time raising her hand. I think it's Lena. Is it? No, yes, Lena Ferris. If we could find her, Ronnie, and let her unmute so she can ask her question, she can't find her virtual hand.
Sure, I'm just trying to get to that right now.
I think it's Laina.
There we go. I found Lena. Let's see. There we go. Request to unmute sent.
There we go. Lena, did you have a question that you were trying to ask?
Am I unmuted?
You
Yes.
are?
Oh, I did, but then I kind of changed my mind. But it was about the order of the documents for loan signings. Because I thought we were supposed to leave them exactly as they are. But the gentleman was saying do the Patriot Act first.
Yeah, if you are in any of our training classes, Lena, we teach you that there are 3 documents you need to tag in your document stack. We don't recommend that you take them out of order because then you've got to put them back and you might not get them back where they belong, and that's going to make somebody unhappy, right?
Right.
Tag it with a tape flag sticking out of the right-hand margin or a paper clip, and we tell you the title ID document, the Patriots Act, and the closing disclosure. Those are the 3 documents that you'll want to start with. Patriots Act and the title ID document, that's that title company document that wants you to record ID information.
Okay.
That and the Patriots Act and your journal you're going to do while you have that ID in your hand. And once you've got all of that taken care of, your last tag is going to be for that closing disclosure. And that's really where we recommend you start your presentation on the signing with.
Okay, great. Thanks.
You're welcome. Oh, we've got Mr. Ron in California. Would you like to unmute, Ron, and ask your question or tell us your story?
Yes, hello. So this is some marketing related question, but I'm looking as far as to how to get do a direct business with signings, and my question is kind of related to, ethics and how do I get more direct business without trying to poach signing agents, clients, and stuff like that. And especially when all the contractors' agreement says that we're not allowed to approach their clients. So how do I get more business without causing trouble? Because I need to keep doing work with signing agencies also.
Well, here's the thing, okay? What you're going to run into an issue, and I hope everybody hears this out. So if you're a local signing service, like Unlimited Ink is a national signing service, I really don't care about your local business. I truly don't. My companies are going to use me because they have so much volume that they really don't have time to go through and call you, Ron, or another notary. They're just too busy. When they're not that busy, they sign it themselves. Okay. And then they have more far away business or that sort of thing. So when I was growing Unlimited Ink, I just didn't work for signing services, and here's the thing, like Amrock and Mortgage Connect, they're never coming after you for those things. The only people that are going to really stamp their feet and say bad things about you because you approach their clients are when the signing service is local to your area. Okay, so like if you're in Arizona, that would be L&L, CM Signings, any of the local signing services that work here. they will cut your throat if you walk in and market to their, so to speak. If you walk in and market to their clients, because they're small time people trying to become bigger. I've gotten past that, so I don't really care. So if you go to one of my clients and they want to use you direct, great. I don't care. I want their nationwide business to manage that. We've really evolved into that over the last year. So when I was up and coming and building Unlimited Ink, I just didn't work for those local signing services. I didn't want to get locked into their contracts to cause issues. And I see that big CA after your name, which means you are in California, and
Yep.
California is one of the biggest sue happy states, there is. The judges love people to come in and get sued because they get paid good money. The lawyers love to take cases because they get paid good money. The signing services love to take people to court because you broke something because they're going to make money out of it. So I'd be careful, and I would only take them from big names like BankServe and all of those places. And then when you go in, like for instance, if you work for BankServe, you are Fidelity approved, but you can get directly Fidelity approved as well. And when you go into one of those offices, usually you're not doing local return, by the way, with those. That'll be a big signification that you can't do that, walk in and market to a client while you're on an order. That's not just bad. That's not just against the signing agent code of conduct. That's just rude. And it'll actually make people look down on you if you do that, deliver a file and try to give a sales pitch because they hired one company and now you're going to turn around and give a sales pitch for another. But if you're going out on the day-to-day beating the street, not working for anybody in your area, your immediate area, so you stay away from those local signing services who are in your area. If they have an address there, don't go to those because they probably already have the business around you, and that way you can market to those clients. Now, if you're already signed up with them, you can read your agreement and see when that agreement ends, or you can also send them an email saying, hey, I understand this agreement ends if I give you 30 days notice or what have you. You just got to be ready to make that choice, but you don't want to cut everyone off, Ron. What you want to do is cut off just the ones in your local immediate environment, because you can't walk in to somebody. Let's say that you're in Thousand Oaks, you can't walk into somebody in San Francisco. So you don't want, somebody that's sending something from your area out of the area, right? You only want to do somebody in your immediate driving area. So anybody that's like a signing service is located in that area, you don't want to work with them so that you can market to the ones that are around you.
Oh, I see. Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
That makes sense.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
We've got just about 15, 16 minutes left. We have several questions still left on the Jotform. Live hands up in the audience, I think, are more important. So how about we get those taken care of first, and we'll go back to Jotform. Samson is at it again. You want to try it one more time, Samson?
Yes, I just didn't want to bother you or Ronnie. I was chatting you to ask you to send us he mentioned a couple of places, emergencynotary.com or some couple of other places. Again, I don't want to take his time. If you can just send those to the chat, Ronnie, I would appreciate it.
Awesome. Kirsten, can you cover that, please? Yep, she's already on it.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Samson. Miss Geneva. You are unmuted.
Okay, I have a quick question. I had a 197-page refi. I completed the whole document, did the whole signing, but I noticed that there was a mother's name on the document. So after we completed the signing, I called up the signing service. Of course, I received no answer, so I had to call up title. Come to find out, they made a mistake. Okay? They had the mother's name on the documents, and the mother was deceased. And the mortgage company didn't tell the title company that the mother was deceased. Should the notary be held responsible for documents that were in error by the title company or lender? Is it their responsibility?
Absolutely not, Geneva. You don't have a hand in drawing the documents. That's not your lane. That's not your duty as a notary. And it's also not your duty to check and make sure that it's correct. We, as stellar notary signing agents, have a habit of kind of fact checking some of the basic information on the document just by the way that we present it. Had we looked at that a little bit closer, we could have probably spotted it and corrected the situation before it got to the end of the signing and maybe had an opportunity to have the documents redrawn. But no, you are not liable for anything that has to do with the content of the documents.
So basically, if your fee is cut because it's your responsibility, you just have to absorb it, correct?
I don't know why they're cutting your fee. If it was the way the documents were drawn and they put a deceased person's name on the file of who wasn't at your signing table, I probably would have called and said, who's this person? Right? Or what are we doing with this signature line? But beyond that, it's not your responsibility. They shouldn't dock your pay, and this is opinion. Any company
Okay, I
can do anything
understand.
that they want to do. In my opinion, they shouldn't dock your pay, but it's also, they were probably looking for you to be a real partner in the signing process and stop and see that there was something on here that didn't look right to you and make a phone call. Maybe they could have rectified the situation before you finished your signing.
Okay. Unfortunately, the documents were at the end, really. So
Okay.
couldn't
Well,
avoid
again,
it.
it's not your, no. If they docked your pay, I'd really, really like to know the actual reason why, because you didn't draw the documents.
Well, they said that's what title's policy is.
That's a, I'm sorry,
I know.
that's a BS answer, and you need an explanation, not an excuse.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Thank you.
All righty. Tony, you've had your hand up for a little while. If you want to go ahead and tell us your story.
Tony or Tanya?
Oh, sorry. Glasses. Tanya, you know it was you.
Two questions, very short. How do you know if you're Fidelity approved? I've had a company send me the forms and requested that I fill out the paperwork, but I don't receive anything back. So how do you know if you're Fidelity approved?
They don't send you anything. And
Okay.
if you filled out the forms and sent them in and didn't hear anything, you're probably Fidelity approved. But there's a caveat there. Those forms probably came from a signing service who is a Fidelity company, Fidelity approved company. Your Fidelity status is only good under that signing service that sponsored you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The other
So-
question I had was, I had a signing last week, and like the next day, the lady called me, like really blew up my phone trying to get me to send her a copy of the settlement statement. Am I allowed to do that after we're done? Am I allowed to send her anything?
You're not allowed to send it before, during, or after.
Okay.
Not. If she wants a copy of her documents before the signing, her title company, her lender has to do that. After the signing, her title company, her lender has to do that. We can't be moving documents around to people who request them, even if we know that's our signer and she wants a copy of it. Did you leave a copy with her?
It wasn't a part of the agreement, so I did not.
Okay.
It was a very thick document, and they didn't request that I leave her a copy, so I did not.
Okay, so was it a loan signing package?
It was a refi.
Okay, so oftentimes, let me throw this out there for anybody who's listening now. It is standard operational procedure that you will leave a copy of unexecuted documents with your signer. Your title company will not necessarily tell you to do that. They're assuming you know that that's standard operational procedure. When you don't need to leave a copy is when they say don't leave a copy in your instructions.
Okay.
Okay, so going forward, always leave a copy unless they tell you not to.
Okay. Thank you.
Perfect. Mr. Mickle, your hand is up. My goodness.
Yeah, while we still have a lot of people watching, I want to bring up something that I find really important that we all need to be thinking about at the moment. So, if you follow California League of Independent Notaries, they put an article out and it got circulated pretty well about a signing service that was now being held in a lawsuit. I don't need to name that signing service on this particular channel, but I do want to tell you that that particular signing service has taught me a lot about running my business. Number one, when you work with Unlimited Ink Notary, what we learned a couple of years ago from this same signing service is that their clients went bankrupt. So we put a clause in our contract that said, if our client goes bankrupt and they don't pay us, you don't get paid. That's just something that we learned from watching what happened. And we can all watch another company or another business and see the mistakes they make and implement them into our business before it happens to us. Okay. So it's kind of sucks that you know that I have that in my agreement, but it's up to you to read it. We have to do things like that. Okay. Protect ourselves in business. You have to protect yourself as well. Read the agreement, decide if you want to work with someone. Flash forward to the new case in point that came out of the article. They are involved in a lawsuit. I do want to tell you that I did some research into this to find out what happened. How did they wind up in this lawsuit? Recently, Signing Order put two-factor authentication onto Signing Order, okay? That means title has to use two-factor authentication. Signing service and its employees have to use two-factor authentication. And now you guys are now seeing the ability to turn on or off two-factor authentication. They are able to pinpoint at Signing Order if any point of break or entry comes in from title side, if it comes in from the signing service side or the notary side. So I know a lot of notaries have bypassed or turned off two-factor authentication when they are trying to, and I think it allows you to in your profile. Turn it on, because if your phone gets hacked for any reason or your computer gets hacked and they get into those documents, you are going to be the responsible party. We've already added it to our agreements as a signing service, and we're adding it to more agreements that if it enters through the notary side, and by the way, for you Fidelity approved notaries, they're going to ask you how you're handling documents, and especially if you're starting a signing service and you're wanting to do those, that's part of the Fidelity agreement. Everybody wants to work at the Fidelity level. Guess what? You got to follow those Fidelity processes. When you sign up with them, they have the right to come and actually remote in and inspect your computer. Have they ever done it to anybody? I don't think so. Maybe if there's a problem, but they say that they can. So you want to use these experiences to get ahead of the curve. Two-factor authentication, I joke with everybody almost on a daily basis saying, one day I'm going to write a book about how two-factor authentication ruined my life. But it's something that we all have to get used to. And there is a huge lawsuit going on right now because of a point of entry. Now, had that been on the notary side, it was on the signing service side. Had that been on the notary side, guess what, guys? You would be the one in trouble because they're going to say you turned off your two-factor authentication, and they can tell when you turn it on and when you turn it off. So if you turn it off on a bad day because that's busy and I don't want to have to deal with that, and then that's the day that you get something hacked, and then all those customers' files that you've worked with before that's connected to your account are now subject to being hacked in some way if they get to that, like hackers. So you want to make sure that you just leave it on and learn to deal with it. I'm seeing court cases pop up left and right for notaries. This is one that you just don't want to have happen to you. It's easily avoidable just by turning on two-factor authentication to make sure that if something did slip through that you're not going to be the one to blame because you turned it off. And that's it.
One more question, one more hand in the gallery. We're at 5 minutes. Well, a little over 5 minutes before we need to close out. But Jesse is a new person to ask a question. We usually get some of the same ones all the time. There you go, Jesse. Take it away.
Hello. Yes, I'm well, I've been with Notary Stars for about a couple months, 2, 3 months, but it's my first time actually having the time to join the meeting. So glad to be here. This question is actually for Ronnie. Actually, I spoke to you briefly on Friday, I think it was. I was at a client's house doing a signing, and there was a problem with the 1099-S. There's like all these when there's tax implications when they're not really quite sure how to fill it out. Like on a PCOR, there's certain, if they check a certain box, then they have to fill out the E section, which has all these other ramifications for the law, taxes. How, if they don't know the answer to how to fill that out and they can't get a hold of their accountant, how would you handle that at the table? Would you tell them to remove the documents, take them to their accountant, and maybe send it to them later? Or how would you handle that in general?
So I know any of our clients are not going to want you to leave them at the table and take them out because they're going to need them signed. I'm going to tell you what I personally would do, and then I'll let Miss Beth comment on it because she's going to tell you the right way to do it. So I would probably leave a copy with them to take to their accountant, okay, because they need to be able to see it and go over the accountant with it. I would get a copy signed just in case and send it back and have them fill out as much as possible and send it back with title with a note saying they absolutely didn't know. And I left a copy with them to consult with their accountant if you can't fill in the information for them. Because title has we in those signings, the lender and the title usually has a correction agreement in there where they can do minor corrections. That might be considered a minor correction. So then they would have to have them mail it to them. So I would leave a copy with them saying, sure, go over these documents with your accountant, but I would have them sign one to send back with the package in case they can make those corrections, because those limited power of attorneys cover different things for different companies. And I'm not an attorney, nor am I going to dissect their power of attorney that says, can they do it or can they not do it? So yes, leave one with a client. And usually when you have a copy, you just pull it out of their client package and make sure they know right on top, make a note for the title company and send it back.
What if they're not comfortable signing it?
Well, if they're not comfortable signing it, definitely make sure to indicate it. I wouldn't stop a closing over that, but I would definitely make sure that you wrote a note from the signing table letting them know, like, I did the best that I possibly could, but they just didn't want to sign this document. Okay. And one of the things you can tell them, and then I'm going to let Miss Beth comment on this and tell us the best way to do it. And best and Beth sound very similar, and they're probably going to be the right way. But the other thing is that you can't be held responsible for what they don't know or what they're not comfortable with doing. You may just want to let them know, hey, listen, it may delay closing if they need this document, and you may have to wind up shipping it to them, especially if it's out of their area. They may send you a shipping label, or you may have to ship it to them. So, I just leave you with that. And Miss Beth, I want to hear what you would teach everybody how to handle that.
Well, first of all, Jesse, are you a member of Notary Stars currently?
I am.
Perfect. Oh, yes, you are. You said a couple of months already. So under the downloadable resources, Jesse, you're going to find cheat sheets for the 593 form, the certification for no information reporting, and the California PCOR form on the website. Those cheat sheets are designed to, those are from title companies. They're designed to guide your signer in how to fill them out. I need to tell you that the PCOR should not be a stopping point at the table. The PCOR is the document that moves the tax records out of the seller's name into the new owner's name. There's no qualifying tax or tax exempt information or questions on that document. So if you want to jump up to the downloadable resources, you're going to find that this form, the government form that takes them through how to sign or how to decipher what these areas are and whether it puts it in plain English form. That's what I want to say. The same thing with the 593 and the certification for no information reporting. That last one might be a question that needs more help outside of the signing table. But the other two, you should be able to breeze right through those. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, the PCOR, I generally don't have a problem with filling that out. maybe it's the 593 that has the form with the section where you, I think it's number 3. If you select it, you're basically stating there's no taxable, you can't be taxed for the property that you're being sold. So then you have to go through a whole other section and fill it out. And I think it's 593E has to be filled out at that point. If I'm not getting my forms confused, I don't know.
You might be, but again, we have an entire cheat sheet on the website. Pull that down, take a look at it, and then if you have questions, call me. I'll help you.
Perfect. Sounds great. Thank you.
All righty. All right, Mr. Mickle, I think we're ready. We're right at 6 o'clock, guys. We did such perfect timing here. Manuel is going to deliver our exit. If Mr. Mickle, you want to set that up, we'd be grateful for that.
When she says set that up, I'm going to say it my way, and then Manuel's going to take it home.
Yep.
So I love saying this every week. If you are not naked and you are not stuffing your face with a sandwich right now, put those kids down for just a moment. Turn on those cameras. We don't care if you're running around in your underwear, just no nudity. Let's get those cameras on so we can give our signature wave to all of our colleagues and Mr. Manuel. How do we say it here at Notary Stars? Take us home tonight.
All right, I'm going to say it my way. As a notary public, there will be times when your integrity will be challenged and you will lose customers. But don't worry, just know that you made the right decision.
All right. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you guys for being here with us tonight. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a good evening.